Alright, what's up, guys? We're back, and we have some fun stuff. This week's been really fun. Uh, well, I mean, not fun for everybody. I guess fun for me because I enjoy the chaos. But we got the N-word lady. Her name is Shiloh. Basically, what happened is she was at a park. We get very little context except for he said, she said. He, a guy walks up to her, starts recording, and basically saying that she said the N-word to some kid. And we have the recording here, so we're gonna watch that first. That we have some context for this.
You call him the child?
We're gonna have to bleep this out, by the way. I might have to do some editing on this one.
Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again?
Fuck you.
All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fucking kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him
Yeah.
the little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna
Are you about to
destroy
hit him? You chase him here?
it. He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know that's.
Okay, that's basically it. I don't want to have to keep editing out N-words. But yeah, so that's the situation. After that, this dude, where is he? This guy, he always does these like gay little TikTok things where he like goes after people, and I don't know. I've seen him like attempt to dox people before in the past, and he was one
Yeah,
of the first ones to come in here and say basically, go after this lady, find her, who is she? Somebody go get her in real life, that type of thing. So in response to that, of course, now we're doing the Gifts and Go war, and she's already surpassed him in like 2 days.
that's crazy. I've
Yeah,
never even seen Give Send Go.
it's basically just like a crowdfunding thing for like charities and people in need and stuff like that. Anyways, so this is really funny to me. I think a lot of people have a lot of different takes. I don't know what your take is. Um, I generally think that at the end of the day, this is kind of like outside the scope of politics to me. This is kind of like within the realm of like culture and what's acceptable and kind of like what kind of norms should we enforce. I feel like
Right.
what she did, in my opinion, was really fucked up and rude and not like it's a kid at the end of the day. Like you shouldn't be saying that,
Yeah.
but also the response to that these days, like back in the day, it might have been maybe somebody hurts her in real life, or maybe like she gets berated or something like that, or her name spreads around as a race, something like that. But these days, it's like no, you got millions of people online, weaponized against you all at once, and you're just like one person.
Right.
It's just kind of disproportionate. So people were like kind of calling to like kill this lady, basically. So
Yeah.
I even got some death threats talking on Twitter, just messing with people. So they take it
You really?
very serious. Yeah, they take it very seriously. There's a lot of really funny TikToks and Twitter videos about people who are super pissed off about this. But so yeah, with that background, what's your take?
Man, I don't even know why this is a thing, first of all.
Right.
When I first heard it, I didn't realize like I just feel like details are left out. At first I just some guys trying to steal her stuff is how I heard about it first.
Mm.
The next thing I know it's an autistic 5-year-old. It's like, man, this story just keeps getting crazier and crazier, and I don't know where I'm just always skeptical when I start hearing these things because it sounds so ridiculous, you know?
The other thing is
But you got on video, it does sound crazy.
the guy filming is apparently like a pedo or something too. Well, I can't say that. It's alleged. Everything's alleged, of course.
Right, right.
But he's gotten on TikTok and like try to refute it, and I don't know. I'm still pretty neutral on it. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
if you have any like. I feel like you tend to look at things rationally, and I felt like you'd probably look at this and be like, it's just a waste of time. But I don't know.
yeah. I don't understand the why a word just triggers people so much. Number one, um, like you could just let her just be in the wrong. It doesn't. To me, it's the people that escalate it are the ones causing a problem at this
Mm,
point because it could just be over at that moment. You know what I mean?
right.
Trying to think of an example. It's like oh, we were just talking about an example earlier today where like a just a situation could have been done if the guy had just ended it, and then he just kept bringing it up. I wish I could remember what that was. Just edit this out. Just me rambling.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Okay.
Just while you're editing, it'd be good practice. It's okay. It's kind of like we talked about the other week,
Hmm.
where um, we talked about. I think it was when we were talking about Daryl Cooper talking about Winston Churchill, and it's like, okay, well, Winston Churchill might not have actually been the bad guy of World War II, like Daryl Cooper is saying, but you can't say he didn't contribute greatly to the escalation of the war, which just made everything terrible, right?
Right.
So yeah, something wrong, something was going on that was wrong here, but it's like it was over at the point where he started recording. This was done. Nobody was getting hurt any further.
Right.
And why was that kid going through her stuff in the first place? Like, how is she the one getting attacked, and her stuff is being gone through? Where's the parent in this?
That's
Who's
the other
watching this
question.
5-year-old autistic kid at the playground?
Right.
I just don't understand how, like, she's being made out to be a bad guy, and she didn't handle this right. But it's like, man, I just feel bad for people who are put in situations that I don't know how I would respond in the situation. I'm not trying to make it seem like I would respond like she did, but you could definitely pull out a camera of me responding to an awkward situation that I'm not prepared for. It's like, well, he did that, handled that wrong in the moment. Yeah, of course I did. I'm going to get a lot of things wrong if I don't have the time to sit here and think about how I'm going to respond.
Right. I can't
And then
even
you just put her on the
imagine
spot
you.
on video. Like, he's challenging her to oh, are you scared now? It's like, what do you want from her? She wasn't going to say anything, and now she's saying it more because you egged her on. It's like that's what you wanted. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're 100% right, and that's like I think that's the secret thing that no one will admit. Like everyone kind of lives for a moment like these, or not everyone, but the people who like this kind of stuff. Like everyone's kind of waiting for someone to be slightly racist to them or say something that they could pull their phones out
Yeah,
over. I don't know. I think it's like pearl clutching for the most part. Like a lot of the
right.
really silly thing is a lot of right wing people like Riley Gaines and a lot of other people were kind of coming at this lady being like she's white trash, this is trashy, this isn't something we should applaud and stuff like that. And while I agree it's not something to like applause on her end, I more so applause like the reaction to it and not like letting her just be have her life destroyed. Like people now can like say, okay, if you're gonna just like go this far to destroy somebody's entire life over one moment of
Yeah,
racism that everyone has in their head. People have more fucked up thoughts than this in their head every day. And she just verbalized something fucked up towards a kid. That could have been we could have
right.
all been against this lady, but the fact that they took it that far to go find who she is and like you can like ruin people's lives over it, that just like is
Exactly.
so outscales anything else. It's like at that point we can't even like admonish her really because you're talking about life or death. So the thing that I like about this situation is that basically it showed that if the right sees someone who makes a mistake and is about to get their life ruined over it, at least they'll like help them out. There's some like cushion there because you have to have that, or else people these days, man, you can have like the full weight of the internet on you on one person, and people just don't conceive of how actually insane that really is.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. You kind of brought me back to my point that I just feel like the bad guys in this situation to me are this guy filming it and egging her on, and then whoever you just showed.
This guy,
Who was that? Yeah, that guy. I'm
yeah,
sorry, dude. Give me just a second.
no, you're fine. I hate this guy, by the way. While you're gone, I'll talk to them. Oh, this shit pissed me off too. Everyone's basically just putting out misinformation to like discredit her over nothing just because like people in these circles care so much about like race mixing and stuff. You back?
Yeah,
I heard you for a second there.
sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Yeah, the kids. They, one of the kids thought they might be getting sick. I
Oh no.
think they're all right.
But this was this I think this was the thing that frustrated me the most, I think. This kind of response because it's like kind of it's just so kind of it just misses the point. So basically Riley Gaines, I don't know, do you know who she is, the swimmer chick?
Um, is she the one that was like traumatized because of the locker room with the being in the locker room with that guy?
I think that's part of it. She is generally like that in that like realm or whatever, like the anti men and women sport type thing. But basically, like she was in the league
Okay.
with that dude who what was that guy's name? I can't remember. Leah Thomas or something like that. The guy swimmer who became a chick and well, whatever. Uh,
Yep.
and
Yep.
apparently beat everybody. Yeah, she's that lady. She got really famous. She's been like
Okay.
Congress. She's all over the right wing now. Like she's a big
Hmm.
figure. So she just put out a tweet that said like her original goal was 20K to relocate to safety, quote unquote. Fair enough. Once she raised that, the goal jumped to 150K. She hit that too, so it became 250K.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think like nitpicking it like this and like caring how much about like how much she gets, it seems like jealous behavior to me almost. I don't even know what it is. Like what like why do you care how much she's getting? These are people are trying to make a point. Like they're trying to make their voice heard. Like you have a big audience, so you could like make your voice heard anytime you want.
Right.
But like normal people, like this is how they're doing it. They're like giving her money to kind of show that, this is all bullshit and we're gonna laugh it off and
Yeah.
you just made this chick rich, basically. But she just misses the point, and I feel like I don't know why they missed the point. I think it's because they're. I think it's one of those things where it's like you're only on my side because you just accidentally are right about a few things, and you're not really on my
Right.
side about any. Yeah, I don't know. So, anyways, that frustrated me. But
And you're frustrated that she's frustrated.
I'm frustrated that people make that argument in general because a lot of people made that argument.
Yeah.
It's like why did all she needed was $1,500 for a gun. I'm like, bro, who are you to tell people how much money to give her? Like, what does that have to do with you? That's how I know that these
Yeah.
people aren't
Exactly.
like freedom minded or whatever. Because things annoy, like when things like this annoy you, like when people just doing their own thing annoys you, I automatically think like, why do you care? I can't even imagine giving a shit. To me, this is all funny,
Right. Right.
but it's obviously a response. So like I think the meta here really that a lot of people are talking about is this is clearly a response to the Carmelo Anthony thing. Like clearly, but he's raised a ton
Yeah.
of money off of killing somebody essentially, and now we're like taking kind of the first opportunity to like give this chick a bunch of money because it's our turn to have a little hero or moment or whatever, even though it's like really really fucked up. So
I didn't realize that kid's name was Carmelo Anthony.
yeah, Carmelo Anthony. And people online, the thing is so funny. I even like saved a screenshot of this because I thought it was so funny. But people are like calling him Mello now. Like he has like an endearing nickname for people on the left,
Yeah.
or like at least black people on the left. I've seen calling that. I don't think I've seen any white people call him that, but they call him
Yeah.
Mello. It's like, bro, you have a nickname for this guy. Like
Yeah.
I get if you think this was self defense, but first of all, like man, if you're calling this self defense, dude, then you're just gonna have kids in high school stabbing each other left and right. Like this kind of shit happens all the time. Like high school is one of the places where you're most likely to encounter violence. If you're ever gonna encounter violence in your entire life, statistically, it's probably gonna be in high school or middle
Oh,
school.
really?
Yeah. So a lot of people are getting pushed and shoved. Every day there's like a fight in some schools. I mean, my school wasn't that fucked up. We had one maybe like maybe once a year we had something like that happen, but I know in some places it happens. And like, are you saying really that they're every time someone's pushed, they're justified in stabbing the other person in the heart? I mean, I just want to sit down with those people and really walk through those steps of logic and like, do you really believe this? Like, is that really what you're trying to say? This is self defense that you think you should be able to kill somebody for pushing you? I don't know.
Right.
I just really want to see the video on that. I want to see the video. That way, I'm not talking out my ass because I have all these strong feelings. I'm leaning towards this being like a non self defense situation, but the video could come out and completely shut my ass up. So I don't want to look stupid, but
But they said they had the video and they're just not showing it, right? Is that
something
where we're
like
at still?
I think I don't know, man. Honestly, I can't remember because it's been a few weeks now since I've really looked into it, but um I remember at one point someone saying that there was like confirmation that a video existed. I don't know why it hasn't been released yet. It's just like those suicide notes from like high school shooters. They never release those either until like they get leaked or something. So
Right.
it's frustrating. Anyways, I think we've pretty much killed that topic. It was discussed to hell online and back, and it's I don't know. It's one of those things where it's fun because the racist people are against the racist people, basically, like left and right wing racists and stuff. And I just feel like the left wing racists have been winning for so
Right.
long. It's fun to see the right wing racists get a win every once in a while to balance things out. But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a funny way to look at it.
Anyways,
And it is because I have the same gut feeling, and I think you just kind of put it into words before I could process it. Because it's annoying. It's annoying seeing people's reaction be so negative toward her. Um, Even though my reaction would have been negative toward her if it weren't for that. It's like, okay, wait, this is just such an overreaction that now I can't even feel the feeling that I feel.
hmm
It's like, did you ever like Justin Bieber?
oh, I hated him when I was a kid for no reason other than that he
Yeah.
was popular. That was it.
I think he's super talented and I enjoy his music, but I hated him.
hmm
And the reason I hated him is like, well, he's not as talented as everyone's acting like he is. He's not like the second coming.
hmm
This is why is he so popular? And it just made me irrationally hate him. There's got to be a term for that.
I know there is.
That's it.
It's who made the joke recently? It was one of your brothers said it's got to be a German word for it. There always is.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah.
There's got to be a term for it. Why am I even Googling this? Come on, chat. You know the answer.
Since we didn't prep crazy hard for this today, I thought it would be cool if we continued some of that video. Like that could be kind of part of the end of this because I was gonna attach the other
Oh yeah.
reaction to that because I don't know. This is kind of like a hybrid podcast slash fish tank Sam Hyde fan channel, anyways. So I mean, Wiggers in the name. Well, in my name, in my handle, not the channel name, but
Eventually, it's gonna merge.
there's something I want to show you. I should find some better clips, but Sam Hyde does a podcast where they kind of like have a setup that I'm gonna be going for my living room. So like
Yeah.
whenever we could like do it where you come over and we could just like talk. But basically he has like
Okay.
a TV in the background. You've seen it in the video we're reacting to, but he has kind of like a TV in the background that you can see at all times through the camera. And then we just like sit around a table with our mics out and stuff on booms. And then whenever we want, we could like switch switch the view in OBS to like show this TV screen, or we could just like have it on camera in the background and us watching stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Yeah.
cool setup.
Dude, it took me that long to figure out what you were talking about.
I could have just shown you an image. There's so many times where I describe scenes to you when I have like the fucking power of the internet at my fingertips. I don't know why I don't just do that.
I'm gonna try to find before we switch over to the show. I do have something I want.
Yeah, I wanted your topic
I
first.
was gonna try to form an opinion on this first, and I just my brother shared it with me. I think it was my brother. Someone shared it with me, and it just felt wrong. And I was like, man, this can't be right. But I didn't have time to just sit down and think about it. So maybe we just do this live.
Hell yeah.
Oh, if I can find it. But while I'm looking for it, yeah. Also, have you seen that 100 humans versus a gorilla conversation at all?
Oh, can we please talk about that? I'll let you go first because you brought it up. But yeah, we got to talk about that.
Nope. I only want your thoughts on it.
Oh my god, dude, people are retarded. Obviously, 100 men versus a fucking gorilla. I mean, the gorilla. Like, what are we talking here? Like, is everybody acting natural, like how they would act naturally if they were in this scenario, or are they all like they have one command: kill the gorilla, and the gorilla has one command: kill the human. Like they're bloodlusted.
Right.
Is that how it
Right.
is?
No, that's a great distinction because that was my first thought. Because if it's just 100 people against a gorilla,
Hmm.
that's like the same. I feel like That's like me against 100 toddlers. I'm 100% gonna win. There's no chance. I'm not gonna get so fatigued fighting 100 toddlers
So
that
you're on the
they'll
you're on
have any
Team
chance.
Gorilla?
Well, in the scenario that I feel like you were describing, where they just have this like just attack, right? If
Right.
we're not using our human brains and we're not trying to create any sort of tools or
Right.
outthink the gorilla and out endurance it, if we're just attacking it head on,
And we're not
because like
afraid
the
of
image
death.
that
Like we're just like we're all
we're just going at
we're
it.
bum rushing. Okay, humans are winning all day long. It's crazy to me that you think Gorilla wins.
You think humans are winning if we just bum rush them?
Oh yeah, because 100 humans. Let's say like an average guy in America is like 180 pounds. Let's say he's just 200 pounds.
Okay,
100 of
that's fine.
those. That's like what 20,000 pounds.
You can't attack all at the same time though. How's that even going to
No,
work?
I know, but like you would just like he would probably kill like because a gorilla to like kill a man would really have to bite him. That's his best weapon is his teeth. So he'd really have to like bite into you probably and like your like make you bleed out or something or bite your face off or your neck or something. Like I think they could probably grip a few people, but he's gonna gas out really fast. First of all, and second, because a
Hmm.
gorilla's only like 400 pounds or something like that. And then second of all,
Yeah,
if everyone's just bum rushing him, it would just be like Daisy zombies where you just like pile on, you just dog pile him, and he would die. He would 100% die.
you might be right. I'm not even arguing that. I haven't even thought about that very much. I just think that argument is so. That's just a ridiculous argument to me. That's not how humans would attack a gorilla. I don't feel like.
But you just said they're not even gonna use tools, so how would they attack him then?
No, I'm saying in that situation where they didn't do that. To me, it's an unrealistic situation.
Hmm. That's true.
But
Well, yeah.
I was initially giving the edge to the gorilla. I haven't really thought about it all the way through. I mean, you make a good point, and you could easily sway my opinion. I don't have strong feelings about that because I don't think that's realistic. I think in a more realistic situation, I think you and me could take out a gorilla given the right set of circumstances. We're not just going to attack it head on.
Oh yeah, of course.
So I don't know. So I saw someone say like, even if there's no tools, like the first guy's dead, and then now we have his bones to use as a tool to attack the gorilla.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, that's worst case scenario, I think.
And I think if everyone encircled him, and there would be casualties, obviously, but if everyone encircled him and just attempted to pin his arms down, like gorillas are really strong, but like they're not gonna be able to lift like 3 or 4 people on each arm for that long. Like they're gonna run out of stamina.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like the first few groups of people that go in, like the first 10 people might die. The first 20 might
Hmm.
be like severely injured, but I think we just like probably pin him down and then just gouge his eyes out or like strangle
It's
him.
a wrap after that.
Yeah. But that's if humans are like gonna get nasty and actually eye gouge and stuff. Like it has to be like you're yeah, going for the jugular basically. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's the whole thing's silly because obviously we would just prep. That's what humans do.
I thought you were going to go the other direction, that the gorilla would win, and I was going to be super surprised.
No, I just think, well, it just yeah, like I was saying, it depends on the setup. If you're telling me the humans, because a lot of times on the internet, people are saying like, okay, well the human, no human is gonna be willing to fight the gorilla because they'd be too scared. They don't want to be the first one to die. But
Right.
but the same thing if you're introducing fear into humans, then 100 humans surrounding one gorilla, that gorilla's gonna fucking probably be terrified and piss his pants. Like gorillas aren't like gods, you know,
Right.
and their strength is kind of weird too. Like they can't like their grip strength I think is really strong, but they can't like punch. They don't have that ability. They'd have to just like swing their arms.
Really.
Yeah,
You're blowing my mind right now.
yeah, if you look up like how their anatomy works, like mechanically, they just aren't able to punch like that. That's why the Donkey Kong thing's kind of fucked up. But I still play Donkey Kong in Smash Bros. But yeah,
That- I'm looking up gorillas punching now.
Yeah, try it. They probably won't do it very well.
Toddler gorilla receiving an uppercut punch. That's not the same thing. Why is there a 13-minute video for this?
I know who to ask.
Yeah, thank you.
Actually, we're doing Grok this time. Okay, well, they're proving me wrong, I guess. Slamming well, however, the gorillas don't punch like humans. Well, can they mechanically do it or not? Oh, okay. There you go. That's what I was asking. So they can't mechanically punch like a human in the sense of using a refined boxing style punch. Okay, well, whatever. So what do they actually do then? A swinging strike or a slam. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if they spin around like fucking Donkey Kong's up B, then yeah, they, they what if the oh, that would be so funny. God.
That's how I pictured him because someone sent me a picture of just 100 humans standing around him in a circle. Like, man, he's just gonna start spinning.
Right. Anyways, I think we've beaten that topic to death unless you have something to say about it, but I'm so glad you brought it up. I I, I overanalyzed it, and my solution to it's fucking stupid anyways, and it only really
What's your
ups.
solution?
Well, I mean, you would just everyone would just Daisy zombie bum rush him and crush
Oh
him,
yeah.
gouge out his eyes,
I mean,
someone choke him out. Like people are gonna get thrown and die and bitten and fucked up, but as long as everyone keeps going and they're bloodlusted and they have no fear. But then I was saying, like, if fear's introduced, then okay, then the gorilla's got to be have fear too. Like gorillas can spook and get scared. No gorilla's gonna want to go against like 100 people.
if if you were like had it in a chokehold, could it get out of that?
I think it could easily get out of it until it's worn out. Like eventually they have to have like lactic acid build up like we do, right? Like eventually they just get tired,
Oh yeah, I'm sure they get tired probably even faster.
right? And people were saying online too that they can run at 25 miles per hour. No, they can sprint at like 25 miles per hour. There's no way they can like sprint all day long at 25 miles per hour for like a mile straight or something like that. Like that's the whole like that's how our advantage was originally was our endurance.
Right.
There's no way other animals have our endurance, or else what's the point? What's the point of being human?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, don't give anybody else our best perk.
Can they
What's the
change
point of
direction easily?
probably they can spin. You ever seen them do the spin thing?
Well, if they're running 25 miles an hour, can they change direction and keep going
Oh yeah, they could
at
pivot on a
25?
dive.
Like,
Let's
I just
see.
feel like it doesn't take a human very long to get up to speed.
God, all these videos look stupid. Oh, here we go. He better run. All right, 100 men are taking that out easy. You see how like fucking.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's a zesty fucking gorilla. I'm not worried about that.
And it really depends on the guys too. Who are these 100 guys? Where do they come from?
Right. Yeah, 100%.
All right, man. The thing I really wanted to talk to you, I just linked in the spreadsheet.
Okay.
on sheet two. Yeah, because I don't know how to use this thing yet. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
If Singapore is such a densely populated and if Singapore is such a densely
Oops.
Yeah, let me get you started on this.
Oh, okay.
He's just talking about Singapore's cheap housing.
Okay,
All right, I
perfect.
think you're good.
is such a densely populated and high-income island, it should have the most expensive housing on Earth. So how did it figure out how to have such affordable housing? Where a two-bedroom apartment sells for just $150K, and that's before grants, which can be up to $60K for first-time home owners. Well, we should start with the country's philosophy on housing. When you rent a home, you might not care about it as much because you might leave next year anyway. But when you own a home, you make it look nice and clean and get to know your community. So if everyone owns their home, you will naturally create a high-trust, clean, and safe society. And it is the government's
Pause that real
obligation
quick.
to achieve this goal.
I just feel like he makes a ton of claims throughout this video, and they're just taken as fact.
Right.
And so my first thought was going to be to you: do you think does that make sense that if people own a home versus rent a home,
No,
that they're going to?
because I used to live in like areas where people did own like cheap homes and stuff. Because at the end of the day, they still have to be like priced within like reason that they can be built. Oh, I guess
Right.
that's not the main point, but yes, like yeah, I don't think that necessarily means that if people own it. I think people who are maintenance minded are going to be that way regardless.
I think, and people respond to incentives, right? Like if you own your home, you have the incentive to take care of it. It's yours. But also, if I'm renting, like I've been in apartments where I don't want to like make a hole in the wall. I don't want to hang things up. I
Hmm.
don't want to potentially ruin something because it's either going to be money or my time to fix it or just my credibility. Like I don't want to have that issue when I'm renting that when I'm owning the home, it's like, ah, this is mine. You know what? I'll fix it later. Or maybe I don't even care if I don't care if that switch works or if there's a hole over there. Just cover it up. I don't know. I just feel like,
Anecdotally, I agree with you. I would have to see the statistics on it because you might be an outlier. And
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't really take great care of stuff. I'm not like the, I'm not super OCD about that kind of thing, like maintaining things. So, I'd be probably a bad example on the other side. But I'd be interested to see the statistics on that. Like, if people who go from renting to owning, do they take better care of their property? I don't know.
yeah,
It's a good question. You want me to continue from here?
yeah. Well, we're waiting on chat's response to settle this. Go ahead.
All right.
For the people, as the government is the only landlord that will have the public's interest at heart rather than private profits. Obviously, this relies on
Oh,
having government.
Yeah.
pause that one more time.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. Other thing, I mean, we didn't even bring into it is the landlord. Like, if I'm making money on a home, then it's going to be it's going to benefit me to keep that at least to the standard that the other people around it are expecting it, right? Because if if I'm going to be a tenant in that community, then and I want to live in that community, I want to live in a house that matches the community, right? So the landlord's going to want to attract people that are going to be able to pay rent high enough that's going to help him be able to afford that property, the property taxes, whatever else. Like if it's a nicer community, it's going to be more expensive. So he's going to have to attract higher paying tenants and he's going to have to take care of it at a higher standard than if it's a lower income community that's going to generate less income, have lower taxes probably, be less expensive. Does that make sense? So it just
Yeah.
seems like they kind of go hand in hand. It doesn't seem like, oh, it's renting versus owning. And I don't know, it just wasn't immediately clear to me.
Yeah. Continue from here.
Clean and safe society. And it is the government's obligation to achieve this goal for the people, as the government is the only landlord that will have the public's interest at heart rather than private profits. Obviously, this relies on having government officials who aren't corrupt, but Singapore has lucked out with having some of the best statesmen over the last.
Yeah. The claims continue. Like, how do we know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's obvious.
Well,
It's obviously speaks for itself.
I think we would be able to dissect that in a number of other areas when you talk about, oh, well, basing something off of the quality off of private profits being a bad thing immediately makes me question anything else this guy's going to say, because like I would never take something that the government provides over something that I could get, like just pure quality wise. You're not talking price or anything. If there's any other incentives, the government somehow made it, free or
Mm,
whatever. But yeah, I just can't imagine something that the government provides matching the free market in quality.
right. Yeah.
Just a backwards claim to me. And then he said, "Oh well, fortunately, all our politicians haven't been corrupt." It's like, oh, that's
Thank
maybe.
God.
I mean, I'll give him that claim, I guess. I don't, because I think it's still like, even if the government has the best intentions, we could discuss this another time too. But I think you would agree that just the nature of its existence makes it less efficient. Um, and I think inherently evil, but that's a different conversation probably. So even if you have the most well-intentioned individuals at every level, it's just going to be worse. It's worse than
Right.
greedy people out there for private profit.
I don't even know if intentions correlate at all to positive or negative results in the end, anyways.
Right.
Regardless, like
Exactly.
intentions are, at least in politics, especially when the systems being fiddled with are so complex, like your intentions are almost an irrelevant variable because whatever you're going to do outside of making things easier on the market to react to situations, anything you're going to do out to make that more complicated or less efficient is going to be a net bad. It doesn't matter what your intentions are.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
100 years, such as Lee Kuan Yew, who genuinely cared about his people. And the country ranks third least corrupt on Earth. Because of this
yeah, I hate these fucking statistics like this, especially. It's like, what are you?
Yeah.
ideology, Singapore is one of the few countries where public housing isn't seen as the projects, it's seen as genuinely high quality. And the Singaporean government sells this public housing, which 80% of Singaporeans live in. So what moves did the Singaporean government take to somehow make their housing high quality and affordable? Well, a big problem in many countries is allowing wealthy foreign investors to buy up all the property and drive up prices for the locals. So in Singapore, you typically have to be Singaporean to buy a home from the government. And even if you are a Singaporean, if you try to buy up multiple properties from the government, you get taxed heavily for it, so you don't just buy up an entire area and rent it out with jacked up prices. Singapore also has zero tolerance for speculators because housing is for living in, not for speculating in and flipping for a profit. So if you try this, you also get heavily taxed. On the other hand, if you're a first-time homebuyer, your intentions are probably pure because you just want somewhere to live so you don't get taxed. And you could even get a grant to buy your home so that low and middle income households aren't stuck paying rent every month and can start to build their wealth. And affordability aside, because the government
Yeah, man, this whole video is just riddled. Yeah, like you're saying. I mean, it's just nothing but claim after claim. He's just kind of like making up a narrative about this place in his head and just saying it out loud. I mean,
Well, he's doing. Yeah.
I bet a lot of it works because they're like kind of a homogenous society with people who probably have similar viewpoints and not a lot of like, I don't know,
Right.
it probably runs a little more efficiently and more people are on the same page a little bit and you save enough, you know, in those aspects that you're able to kind of maybe make do with it, but it would obviously just be better if you let the free market take over.
Well, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on those specific claims that he just mentioned. Like, what did he say? First-time home buyers can get assistance and they're not taxed, but if you are trying to buy it, like if you're trying to buy properties for profit, then you're taxed heavily. I don't know. I can't even think through the logic of why that would be. Like, he's basically just he's making the claim, or at least implying the claim, that it's bad to buy property to rent it out for profit. And I would say one of our guiding principles in free market economics is profit is a good thing. It's what you're trying to get, and in trying to get that, you're going to provide a better service to the customer,
Hmm.
and it helps you make decisions. If you say, "Hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make a profit," it's because I'm providing what the market wants. I'm providing what the people want. And so hearing it used in a negative way, I should be used to by now, but I never am. It always confuses me and takes me back for just a second while I try to unwind it a little bit. Then they're trying to make those guys out to be the bad guys. And it's like, wait, if they could have been doing this for profit, but you're saying, no, we're not going to let you do that for profit because we're going to tax you so heavily if you try to do it that you won't make a profit. that has to make the market worse. That means that they would be doing this because there's a market there, and they're just not letting them. The government isn't. Is that
Right.
making any sense?
Yeah, I think what you're saying makes sense. I'd have to think through the math on it and how the incentive structure and, what the pros and cons are. My immediate, initial reaction to anything like this is generally if you just let the markets be free, then it'll run more efficiently because people are going to buy and sell what they want. I mean, but this is like protectionism. So a lot of it sounds good, and even to me, I'm like, it's hard for me to like defeat the logic on its face because it sounds good and people are
Yeah.
going to be like, "Well, this is so obvious. You're creating incentives that will push it towards people being able to like buy their own first home more easily so that like as a foundation most people are able to achieve that, and then anything outside of that is like a luxury thing." So, yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming that it makes it less efficient somehow. I just have to think through how that is exactly. But I think you put it well the way you said it.
He's got like at least one more statement on what you're commenting on, and then I kind of want to see who this guy is. Like, why is he showing up in my feed? I think they just
Government
had an
owns
election this year
Oh,
in
okay.
Singapore, so maybe that's why. But
80% of housing, it can do city design efficiently, where the housing is optimally connected to the country's public transit network, and where every Singaporean can live in a complete community with easy access to schools, shops, and an abundance of greenery. One thing that may feel like a downside is that you can usually only keep your home for 99 years before the home gets returned to the government to be sold to someone else. The idea is that you, as the buyer, worked hard and saved your money to buy this house, so these 99 years are enough to set you up for life as you deserve. But this doesn't set up all your kids and grandkids for life, giving them unearned privileges over other less fortunate kids and creating intergenerational wealth inequality. As the Singaporean Prime Minister stated in an interview, if all land in Singapore becomes freehold, the ones who will benefit will be today's landowners and their children. But new generations who don't have housing bequeathed to them will find it very, very hard to have access to affordable housing. The other thing
Is that like one of the main things?
that was it. I wanted to discuss your thoughts. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, this just violates my basic principle of I should be able to do whatever I want with my property. Like they should be able to own
right.
their own property and they should be able to pass it down and do with it what they will. I mean, it's just I mean, I feel like on its face it's ridiculous to think that the government can handle the transition of land from one person to another better than the people can themselves. Obviously, if I own some land and someone wants to buy it from me, they can make a reasonable offer and maybe I'll take it or whatever. I mean, it's just like it's such a
Right.
basic human interaction. There's no need for any outside force at all. So,
I 100% agree with you. I guess my question though that I don't know, this might not even be interesting, but is forget about, what's right or wrong when it comes to property rights, because I think we both agree, hey, it's my stuff, and if I want it to go to whoever when I die, I should just be able to decide that.
hmm
But if you take that away, do you think there's any issue with like what he's talking about with intergenerational wealth? If I set up myself for success, my kids didn't really earn anything. I had that my time in life to help them set themselves up for success if I wanted to. But as far as just, hey, I have all this stuff left over that I wasn't able to do anything with or consume, right? It's just assets that I have now.
hmm
Should those just by default go to whoever I want them to because I'm dying, or should those be distributed in some other way? Maybe auctioned off, or maybe um, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about that, or should it just be by default whoever I wanted them to go to because they're mine?
I can't
Is
think
that
of
the
any
best way?
reason why it wouldn't be that way. Can you think of like do you have some novel thought on that whole process or because to me it just
I don't. I'll
seems
just.
yeah.
It just seemed like maybe there would be an exception. Like once I'm dead, why do I still have the say of where my things go? And because I'm trying to
I
think
think you
this
have to
through
carve out a
on the fly.
special thing about I think you have to carve out like a special situation where it's like yeah, technically I'm telling you what I want to happen when I'm dead, but like I'm making this concrete now. You might as well just consider this like the situation as it is like moments prior to my death. So like by the time I'm
Hmm.
dead, that property transfer is like already happened. Like you can just think about it that
Right.
that way like mentally just for the hell of it if you wanted to, but
Right.
Yeah. So I don't look at it like, oh, I'm allowed to choose what I want to happen with my property after I'm dead. I look at it like the moment I'm dead, it's instantaneously someone else's property that's already been predetermined
Right.
by contract. So game over. Like that's the way it is. So I think
And
like the
I
interesting part is probably arguing against like what like their whole logic behind not wanting like the next generation to be put at a disadvantage because they didn't inherit a house or something or land or something like that. And I just think, I mean, I feel like at this point it should be. I mean, it's not obvious to everyone, but you can't make everyone equal. It's impossible, and in
right.
doing that, you make everybody worse off.
Yeah. I agree with that. I guess I was just again, I don't have a point here. I'm thinking through it. If we've talked about this a number of times, I think that um you have to be able to own something because to me ownership, like we talked about the other day, just means the ability to the right, the authority to make a decision on that property, right?
Hmm.
And you have to be able to make decisions with things and you have to know who's going to make these decisions. Like you said, it's never going to be equal. So it makes sense why you'd have ownership during your life. But then as soon as you die, is there any reason that you should decide like if you were going to do it significantly before you died, then there wouldn't even be a discussion. But you obviously wanted to own these things until you died, and then you died. Is there any reason that they shouldn't just go to whoever you wanted them to at that point versus being released back into just being unowned? Does that make sense? Because eventually everything's going to be owned, at least all land,
Right.
and then you're going to create new things. I'm just kind of rambling at this point, trying to think through it because I agree with you wholeheartedly. I was just trying to make
Well, I
play
think
devil's advocate. I couldn't
fundamentally,
even steel man it.
if you want to go like fundamentally, like property isn't. Well, repeat your definition one more time.
Of just like ownership.
Yeah, ownership.
I was just the way I describe it just for simplicity is like you have the right and the authority to make a decision on that property.
Okay,
You have the decision making rights.
I think that's fair, but I think there's a more fundamental definition too, and
Yeah.
it's whatever object, item, whatever, insert noun, general noun that you're
Hmm.
able to defend from others or what. I mean, I think you could make it a compound definition with the aspect of being able to like make decisions over it as well. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
implied in your definition anyways, but fundamentally it's the stuff that you can keep, the stuff that you're able to like keep from other people, and that could either be defending your property or social, cultural, governmental, just general like systemic ways that the culture around you like keeps your property safe. Just because if someone tried to break into your house, people don't want people to break into their house, so they would alert you or whatever. So obviously there's
Yeah.
there's a safety net in society like to keep your property, your shit safe, essentially. So that's how I see property. And at the end of the day, like if I was able to like have this property my whole life. I was able to like guard it and own it and make decisions over it, and no one's taking it from me. Well, I'm telling you
Yeah.
now that the new situation is that my prodigy are gonna own it, take care of it, defend it, and if you want to take it, you can do it. You could do it the same way you could have done it to me my whole life, and that's coming and fucking taking it. And governments have done that in the past. People have
Right.
done that in the far past. People have done that to each other. So it's just to me fundamentally, it's I was guarding and defending and taking care of, maintaining, utilizing this property however I saw fit, and now I'm telling you that at this point, uh, because of the way like humanity works, fundamentally, we like to we are a forward-thinking species who wants our kids to live better lives than us. I think we all have that instinct, um, and we want them to live full and happy lives. And to do that, we can set them up with the with the material wealth that we've collected throughout our lives. And I think that's just like a part of human nature that you would pass that down to your progeny because that's what your whole life has been geared towards, at a certain point you're geared towards
Yeah.
the next generation. So I think that's like a part of the human experience. So I think fundamentally, I think the most unnatural thing in the world would be giving a third party access to that pass down. So I don't know. What do you think of that? Does that hold any water at all?
Yeah. I think it definitely does, and I don't disagree with you. I'm trying to make it make sense in more than just like to me that's almost a cultural thing. And then it kind of relies on, okay, well, if your culture handles it in that way, then that's how it would be done. But if you were in Singapore and their culture says, okay, well, now that you're dead, this just goes back to the community to decide or whatever. Um,
I think that's true. Actually, I think
and
I think you're right about that, and I don't think I even contest that at the end of the day, because your culture is
well,
only what you're willing to put up with, anyways.
yeah, I agree with you, but I think so. I think there's two different. We're approaching it two different ways. I think one is I'm trying to think through, okay, well, what makes sense logically? Because I think what you're saying is right. It doesn't matter what I can think of logically if we decided as a culture we're going to be communist, and that's I don't have the power to change everybody's mind, and that's just what we're going to go along with, right?
Hmm.
But I would still philosophically want to try to get to, okay, well, what makes the most sense is the most free, is the most equal to me, the most equal set of rules that can apply to everybody. I think individual property rights is is that answer, and I think it starts from like we've already discussed that you have to be able to make decisions on things. And I agree with your. I think what you said, the way you worded it, is the same thing. I think the implications are the same, and you get to that the same way. The reason I use make decisions is because I think it's easier to use that to weed out other types of ownership because if you have communal ownership, for example, well, how would you make a decision on a single thing? You'd have to get the whole community to make that decision, or you'd have to come up with a set of rules from the whole community, say, hey, we're all going to make the decision about this thing in this way. Well, if half of them didn't agree, then they don't even really own that thing, right? It's
Right.
really convoluted. And you have that same problem if you say nobody owns it. If you say, okay, well, some people own the thing and others don't, well, then you just broke the rule that we're trying to make, which is like an equal set of rules for everybody. So the only one you can really move forward with is individual ownership. And then once you have that established, you think, okay, well, how do you become an owner? And I think the one way is homesteading, right?
Hmm.
If there's an unowned piece of property or land or whatever it is, and you're the one taking care of it, and you're the one that kind of lays claim to that, that would kind of fall into what you said, like, oh, this is the thing that I could keep, right? But then after you've done that and you've established ownership in whatever way, you would also have to have like society's buy-in so they're not just coming and taking it from you. So I still agree with that. What I'm trying to get at is once you have all of these pieces of property homesteaded or owned, the only other way to get more property is just by trade, right?
Right.
But then once you die, so your property, you're not really trading it. If you've decided, hey, I'm going to give this to these people beforehand, you've made that decision, that would make sense. If you haven't already like made a will or something, should it automatically go to that person or should it be able to be rehomesteaded because now it's unowned?
Hmm. I think.
And I think you kind of already answered it, but I didn't quite get there till just now.
Yeah, and I see the angle you're attacking it from. I don't think we're really arguing here necessarily. I think we might just be talking
No.
on two different planes of the same thing. I'm
Yeah.
more talking about practically at the end of the day, what's going to be enforced in society, even in an ANCAP society, is what people are able to
Right.
voluntarily do with each other. Like, you can't, like,
Right.
say, oh, it would be a good idea if we had no government. We have to convince the culture that no government
Exactly.
is a good. So at the end of the day, the culture is, like, kind of the beginning, the middle, and the end almost. So
And I guess my
I
question is,
I
would
think.
you argue?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just asking if you were going to try to influence the culture one way or another. It seems like you would try to influence the culture to, yeah, pass this down to your kids versus it going back into being unowned.
Well, I
And my
think
only
it's
question is,
sorry.
what theory would you use, or what logic and reasoning would you use from a property rights standpoint to do that? And you might have already answered it, but I
Well,
wasn't ready for the answer.
I think you could make the practical arguments that you're making to make that point. And I think that I think you said like a couple of keywords that were important. Like I think you said at one point like what would make things most equal, or what would be
Yeah,
fairest for everybody, or so. You're like trying to come up with a framework that would is like essentially you're trying to come up with a good idea for how things should run. And I agree that that's like I think that's what a lot of people do. I think that Bob Murphy's really good at it. But at the end of the day, it's like his point is always, we can't really come up with solutions. That's kind of something that develops naturally. And I guess the way I'm looking
right.
at it is almost like, well, a solution to these problems is just going to be like if you start in a vacuum, which will never happen. I guess where do you even begin? But basically, it's kind of like the lowest amount of like potential energy in a society. You don't want like a bunch of pinup like stress in a society because things are being forced out of their like natural. I feel like their natural situation in the natural state. That's what people are. They want to like build up their resources and pass them down. It's like kind of like in our nature. So I feel like
Yeah,
I feel like it's almost like the good idea has been there from the beginning. It's just government and corruption and kind of propaganda, brainwashing. People naturally tend to want to like spread out and explore and homestead, create their own area. That's what we've always done. We've never been happy on a tiny little island in Britain or whatever. We spread out.
yeah,
Like that's what people naturally they want their own space. So I feel like if you get the
yeah,
government out of it, it doesn't even take a whole lot of like leaps to get to like a good situation, which would be let everybody take advantage of the resources they can, buy what they can, volunteer. No one wants to be in danger, have their life in danger over these deals. Or it should just be all voluntary cooperation
yeah.
between people. And I think like in the places that in like in points in the past, you can see that humans naturally do that. Is my point. So if we get the government out of it, we don't have as much centralized power telling people what they can and can't do. I think people will naturally gravitate towards um, owning property and passing it down and stuff like that. I know we're like way in the weeds and I'm talking too much, but that's my feelings on it.
I agree with you, man. I just wanted to see if I could try to steel man the the other side, and I couldn't at all. I agree with you wholeheartedly, and I
I,
don't know why Singapore is doing this.
I
I don't
see
know
where
why
you're
they're
going.
doing this nonsense or why this guy's acting like it's a good thing.
Right. And I was trying to kind of like play along too with that, but yeah, it's hard, especially like thinking about it
It's so bad.
on the spot. Like I'm like I kind of have this vague feeling about how things should be, but like especially in the beginning before my brain, all the cogs and the cobwebs have like cleared out of my head, like how to think about
Yeah.
this and kind of steel man it. It's tough, but I think we got to some level of understanding on it.
Who is this guy? Does he have a if you click his name, does it tell you anything about him?
Just a history and geopolitics lover.
Okay. Yeah.
I've never seen this guy before, so I don't know.
What's this? What? Yeah, me neither. What's he talking about though? Just a bunch of history stuff.
Yeah, it looks like history facts and some more modern history. Maybe some yeah, look, obviously some politics.
Dude, every country Trump is threatening right now. I wasn't gonna bring this up, but I just feel like I feel like we keep somehow didn't we just escape like an Iran situation, and now they're threatening Iran because they're supporting the Houthis in Yemen, who are attacking ships in the Red Sea because of what's going on in Gaza.
That's such a leading question.
And
Seems like all
yeah,
you know all
I
the
guess
details. I don't know any of the details because I've been paying attention to the N-word lady. So thanks for catching me up.
my my only question is, or not even question, it's just it seems to me like he's getting mad at Iran for I don't even know if they're actually supporting the Yemen or the Houthis in this, but like the Houthis are just mad that Gaza is getting leveled and Gaza, I don't know. It just seems like why are we involved in this fight at all?
That's a good question.
And we've
This is actually a good time to bring this up. Sorry, continue.
oh, I just saw something else crazy that since March 15th, so that's like almost two, not even 2 months, we've dropped 1,000 bombs in Yemen. And I feel like nobody is discussing this. How is this not news? 1,000 bombs is a lot.
It's insane.
And we're talking about inward lady.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it gets
Someone said about
frustrating with the other stuff because it's like I have no say in it. At the end of the day, it's whatever the government wants to do. It's tough. So,
I'll just say this and I'll shut up about it, but
all right,
I
fine.
think it was Dave, I think I was listening to him. Someone I was listening to just said the other day that no one is talking about this, which is wild because only in like America or Israel can you have constant war for the past, I don't know, 20 plus years. Because if anybody else was doing this, if anybody else just all of a sudden started bombing another country, that would be major news. If you start a
Yeah.
bombing campaign against, and for us, it's like, no, it doesn't even make, nobody is talking about it because it's just another week.
What they do on Twitter, they get into the nitty gritty. There's a lot of people who are really worried about war with Iran on Twitter. And there are some weeks where I follow it, but the details roll in so quickly that I can't keep up with
But
it
I'm
anymore.
talking about Yemen.
Oh,
Like,
Yemen.
who
Yeah,
is talking
sorry.
about Yemen?
Just
Are they
Dave
talking about that
Smith.
on Twitter too?
No, no,
Yeah, he's the
hardly
only one.
ever. Dave Smith is the only one I know that talks about Yemen. Sorry, I was pulling up this tweet, so I missed some context. But yeah,
No, no, you're good. You're
Yemen
good.
never gets talked about. I agree.
It's like, man, 1,000 bombs is so many. All right.
I thought this was interesting. Basically, Matt Walsh is kind of like the only based person at the Daily Wire, or the Israeli Wire as it's now known. But he said he had some good points on this Tucker Carlson interview. He said Iran is not launching a nuclear program at the United States. Be serious. Iran is not a threat to my family's safety. I think he succinctly makes the point that we would both make. And then Joel Berry, this fucking retard, says I would prefer it if the world's leading sponsor of Islamic terrorism and the sworn enemy of the entire West did not have nukes. I think that point is just so stupid because,
Is he talking about Iran is the sworn enemy of the entire West?
right.
Okay.
It's like okay, it's so funny because like it's something like this. You have I can't I'm gonna edit this in, but basically you have a list and it's all the sworn enemies and it's like one by one they're being marked off the list and they all just happen to be the last ones that the United States like focused on. You know, like Afghanistan, Iraq, all these things. It's just we're taking them out
Yeah.
one at a time, crossing them off the list, and oh now all of a sudden, Iran's now the sworn enemy of the entire West. Okay,
Yeah.
anyways, it's a lot. It's the same thing with like Israel and Gaza. It's like okay, you can simplify it at this point and say, oh yeah, we've knocked the beehive enough times, and now Iran's saying some scary shit. Well, it's literally only because we're there in the first place for half the time for these things. It's like we created these tensions already. Like we're the ones that started this shit. We have if you look at it, we were in I think 3 wars or conflicts pre 1948, and then after the establishment of Israel, now we're like 11 deep or something. I'll have to go like ask
Yeah.
Croc or GPT or something, but it's like it's insane. It's insane how much we fucked that area up.
Yeah. Are you talking about the 7 countries in 5 years thing? Is that what
I
you're
think that's
referencing?
yeah. I think that was in the back of my head, but I'm generally just like all the countries we've messed up over there: Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria.
It's funny thinking about that to me because I've heard Scott Horton reference that so many times, right? And he always attributes it to General Wesley Clark.
Hmm.
And then I think he brought that up in a debate he had with General Wesley Clark, which we should maybe watch on the show or discuss it at some point.
Yeah.
It was like December of last year,
Yep. I watched
and he
it.
brought that up, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that memo I saw like 10 years before I even referenced it. So I thought that was like a fairly recent thing when he was talking about it. He's like, no, that's from like early 90s. And that's why Dave was talking about Wolfowitz to Douglas Murray, I think, because that's who he saw it from.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right or am I mixing up names?
I think you're right generally. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to keep up with all the names and stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm gonna actually double check, fact check right now.
The two people you mentioned are definitely the right names. I just don't know how the memo got passed around or whatever.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to watch that debate again.
One of these days we'll both walk into the podcast with like notes and shit ready to go. We're getting there.
Didn't even think we'd be talking about this.
Right. Anyways, you want to do some Tyler's bookmark hour?
For sure, I do.
I might have some.
And then we're still gonna
funny
watch
ones. Yeah, let's watch that
some of that
after.
show.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Let's see. Where did we leave off last time? Have you ever seen Trailer Park Boys?
Sounds familiar.
You might not have, but this guy's from there, and he's just really funny. I don't.
Okay.
You probably won't appreciate that as much, but this was really funny. Okay, this is how Michelle Obama. Everyone calls Michelle Obama a trans guy.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you know of it, right? I mean, it's a big meme
Yeah.
online. Anyways, she
Right.
had this very unfortunate line on this interview or this podcast or whatever she's doing.
I wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man.
Okay, that was just unfortunate. And she takes like a pause right
Yeah.
after saying it.
Right.
She said, well, I don't
would you care to share that journey?
I don't know. It was just bad, and then that blew up.
Is she talking to a Black guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That's
I mean,
like
she
that's
has to
like
have been referencing him.
has to be, but it just sounded funny.
Nope. Yeah, no, that is funny. I'm grabbing some water.
Oh, that's the
Maybe.
entire podcast. I can't show you that. Okay, this is a clip that I feel like highlights. This is the entire Israeli PR problem in one video.
All right.
I hope you haven't seen this
Who,
before.
who
It's
is this
really
guy?
funny.
Where are they?
They are. I think they're at a some kind of an international football tournament, like European football, soccer. So
Soccer.
it's either
Okay.
like the Olympics or something, but something like that. There's different countries here being represented. So that's all you
That's
really
exactly
gotta
what
know
it
as
looked
far as
like.
context.
Perfect.
Here you go.
I thought it was a good game. I thought in the beginning Israel was better, but now Mali is is destroying them. I think Israel is not bad. Israel is not bad, but I think
So he's already bringing. He has said nothing about politics yet. So keep that in mind.
Right.
is destroying them. I think Israel is not bad. Israel is not bad, but I think Mali is going to destroy them today. No, I'm just talking about football. I'm just
talking about football, bro.
I'm just talking about football.
the best, no politic here. Okay?
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free!
This is what they do to people. Like they insert it into everything. They're overbearing about it, and they go overboard with it. Instead of just saying like normal things, they're like, "Oh, let's just kill all the babies." They literally say that kind of thing. It's like who's in charge of your PR? It's so bad. It's so like overbearing.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Anyways,
Oh man.
creates the whole thing. Oh yeah, I also had to bookmark this because this is really funny. This guy said Carmelo's case is blatant self-defense. That's why judge bailed him out, and his father holds no ill will. Insane thing to say. Got way more likes than my thing did, but I'm bookmarking this because one day I'm gonna be able to go back and say that he got life in prison or something. Like, cause like just
Oh
being
man,
just objectively, like, what are you talking about? You really think nothing's
right.
gonna happen to him? Like, I don't know. It's possible he walks free, but I feel like that would be like an OJ moment. I don't know. Anyways, that's my bookmark corner for this week. The rest of it's irrelevant trash. Let me queue up the rest of that episode.
What's
Here we go.
giving you indication that's going to be going out?
It's just
Everything, Brad.
like
For context, back like last time we started watching this, we got to the point where they were talking about like NFTs and fucking cryptocurrency and stuff like that. Just like they're just bullshitting him on like get rich quick schemes and stuff. That's what they're doing right now.
YouTubers.
Yeah.
SEC lawsuit getting cleared. Brad House meeting with Davos.
The SEC thing got cleared.
Yeah.
It's all good now.
Yeah.
XRP is going to be back on top, so you
I mean, it
know.
might as well be. XRP is the one.
I thought it was Cardano, but it just wasn't. It's just XRP.
We had Cardano for like 3 weeks and did nothing, so it's not going anywhere.
So you make anything today?
Uh,
Gains today?
It's one of those things you want to just like get
Hey,
crypto.
you sit down.
You want to get crypto. Yeah, can you get out of the shot? Can you get crypto and you hold crypto for like a year and you forget you have it,
Who's he talking to?
and then you like remember the password, and then
Probably just
2 years later you're like, I'm rich.
Right. So
Someone
the
random
ideal
in the
strategy is
office.
just forget your passwords after you bought everything.
Not forget your password, but put it somewhere where you're not always touching it.
I get
So
you.
you don't sell your XRP too early.
Excellent.
And then, you know.
I wish I knew
if
enough
were to
about
sell my XRP
cryptocurrencies to
right
find
now,
this
just
funny,
'cause
but I don't
had
know.
one bad day, 2 years from now.
It's
when
still
this is
funny
worth,
to me
like,
because I kind of know what
2
they're
million,
getting
You
at.
never
but-
Right.
sell. You
I'd
never
be
sell
suicidal.
XRP.
I would be so.
You buy the dips.
Biggest
It's a
mistake.
long
Buy
road.
the dip, baby.
It's a long road, man. That's all I know.
What do you think about the idea of taking profits? Isn't that kind of important?
That sounds like something an old fucking retard would say.
It's all or nothing. It's always all or nothing.
He told us
is for real for
Listen,
retards.
Not a
taking
game.
profits, it's gonna be what, worth $1 million anyway.
Yeah.
What's an extra $8,000?
Take profits,
Okay,
take
yeah.
coffin. Get in a coffin, nail yourself in. There's
It's
your
either
profit.
10 million.
Fucking
or
retard.
I'd
homeless.
rather have no money.
He said you just buy a bunch of XRP and then lose the password and then like open it back up in 10 years. That's
Right.
that's like his
It's gonna
strategy.
change my life. I know for a fact.
I know for a fact.
Excellent.
Alright.
Let's move over
You
here.
laugh, but that's gonna put us on top.
I believe you. Can you get a zoom in on him when he says stuff with his?
I'm not joking. XRP is gonna put us back on top.
I don't normally do this. This is just, you know.
What do you normally do?
Normally, I've been doing writing. The writing is top secret though right now, right?
Now you can show 'em.
Writing?
Yeah.
We're doing tons of, working on a project with
That's
tons
Chris
of,
Lynch.
This is like,
Trading cards.
yeah, we're
Secret.
yeah, they're gonna be, NFT.
In my mind, he didn't have
NFT, trading cards.
something funny to show him or something that would be good. He asked for a way out. He's like, no.
Libertarian
something up on the spot.
strawman.
Right.
It's gonna be like Magic the Gathering meets Yu-Gi-Oh, but like with more like skill trees type shit.
That makes no
Um,
sense.
Yeah, so
Path of Exile level deep skill trees.
yeah,
Right.
So fucked.
so
You might
But
need
you
to
can't
expand your
play
team
it.
a little bit to get to that level. Then you
Nah.
think?
That's
No.
what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do all day.
Have you guys made a game?
Everybody in this room is a worker.
Yeah.
we're actually downsizing.
that brony game.
We're hitting it hard. We have that brony game. We got all this shit.
He still has his
I'm more of an ERC
boxing t-shirt on.
That brony game he just mentioned is important because that's what he gaslit Idubbbz with, tricked him into thinking he was real.
Oh, okay.
That's when he did that takedown of his video.
Yeah, Donald Trump wearing masks.
they're voting for a pedophile. Like, what the fuck?
They voted for the pedophile.
Yeah, see?
My God,
Clockwork.
Pedophile.
This reminds me of that black guy that shot up the news reporter. You remember that?
Yeah. That's pretty much it though.
Okay. That's your research for the day?
Yeah.
Is that for real what you did today?
Yeah, that's all I did.
Yo, we gotta have a talk about this later. Let's try it on your phone. Let's do can we do a song? Because we gotta get on that if we're gonna get this fucking stupid plan. Alright. What are you drinking, Joey?
I wish I had an export of gooey.
Joey's got
Joey, you need a light for that.
No, it's like a ritual.
Like, I'm using the bathroom.
It's just when you make music.
It's no junky shit like.
Yeah.
It's like having a glass
Wait,
of
is he trying to go out?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Go this way, this way. Okay. I'm gonna do a security check as well. All the entries are stay. Nobody leave the room.
Oh, this isn't even a joke, is it?
No.
I don't know.
That's the magic right there.
This is what we call some rapper shit.
Put Jolly Rancher in
Yeah,
it.
Joey's not messing
Nah,
around.
that's some like old head shit that put Jolly Ranchers in and shit. Nobody does that.
Jolly Ranchers in the
That's some like some fucking
You gonna try some?
some like
This
Mike Jones.
Oh, okay.
This looks like something from 5 Minute Graphs.
Yeah, it's the fun part.
Put some, you put some glitter in
They didn't change the threat level when he left, did they? That was already red.
This is YouTube
I think
science.
it's been it red.
You
can smell it. You can smell the medicine.
Does that help you?
Like you
Feel
can
better,
smell it.
Well,
Hey,
it's
shit's-
not just like it's not just an opiate. It's
Can I
not
take
like
a
popping a perk or something. It's
No, don't sip
with
it.
Don't sip it?
That's like $500
gonna kill me?
cup.
Here, let Ian smell it.
$500 cup.
It's kind of
Doesn't
like
smell like anything.
You don't want to drink it?
No.
it's kind of like
You want
You don't try it?
Has it just become a tradition rap to do this, or has it always been around?
I
Some
mean,
form of that.
like DJ Screw.
like what is that? That sounds like mad scary.
How long
like,
have you
what
been
do
doing this for?
It's like since I've been rapping.
Yeah.
It's hand in
How long have
hand.
you been rapping?
I'm rapping 10 years.
Yeah,
I was
he
sipping
has
real
receipts.
act,
He has receipts.
real act, and when I was 13, I could picture the real act.
What are you saying?
Activists.
Activist is like
They don't sell it. They don't sell it no more. But like, because
Justin Bieber got caught. Yeah.
You did?
But in like 2008, I had real act. Like,
If Justin
I
Bieber's
was like pouring it up.
Justin Bieber got caught with activists and they stopped making.
I heard Bieber was like smoking mid in 2012.
Yeah. And did some like weird process that made it into a ring. So if you look right here, this
Real
is the top,
tryst.
and then this is the bottom. See,
We don't buy
that's
lines.
the year my grandma.
We don't buy lines. We buy pints. 3K.
And then
Cheers. Real pints. Real sealed pints.
The locals call
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Me neither.
King Tag Dunk.
Lockdown. Same town.
Sam doesn't smoke weed. He's just faking it.
around here? It's like you guys like
No.
you guys like my girl.
I was actually gonna ask if you could put in like a little memorial thing. We had this bump.
That's so surprising.
that I
Does
would,
he
like, hang out
have a
with
reason?
on my smoke breaks.
Just
So,
imagine
you
that
know,
he would.
He's just like one of those straight edge guys, you know, like Trump, who just doesn't do that kind of thing. I think he occasionally
Did
drinks.
you
or
say like
something.
Trump?
Yeah, Trump. He's straight edge too. He's just you wouldn't think so because he's like he doesn't come off that way, but he doesn't do like drugs or alcohol.
It's just funny that was the guy that you like Trump.
Yeah, because
just-
they have like kind of
Makes sense.
they're notorious in a way, but it's surprising to learn that this notorious of a person doesn't do like
Right,
alcohol and
right.
drugs. Yeah, it's like one of those things.
like 2 weeks ago.
What did he die of?
He was actually, I'm not kidding. It's like, it was like a city bus. He hit him around that corner. And his name was Fingers. I'm not. That was his nickname. I don't know his real name.
It's funny because this side of it, like if you watch the Idubbbz video that he put out like a little bit after this came out, it's like
Yeah.
much more edited like a real video. This is more like, okay, this is the footage we had, so Idubbbz isn't putting his edited video out, so we're gonna put out the footage we had. So that's kind of like what this is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I only knew him for like a year, and we would chill, and he would like ask for cigarettes and shit. Yeah. He's really cool. I'll send you a picture of him. Not like a picture when he died. There is a picture of that too, but.
How old are you? 21. Were you in anything that I don't know?
It was all like Russian shit.
Oh, okay. In Hollywood.
Well, like it was like they'd film in Russia and then.
Oh.
Who's sneaking in there to get that?
Yeah.
It's just so funny.
Yes. Yo. Let go.
Is that Lego?
It's Niffler blocks. This thing's gonna go together in no time.
This is so stressful.
Yeah, go ahead and
Gonna go together in no time.
Sure. Yeah, I'm actually gonna get this out. No, you're good. That's the long hair problems.
Come!
Spotted him.
Oh, yo! Tripod? Use your phone to hit it.
This is how I actually open boxes. I punch them. I don't use my phone.
Do you really?
Yeah. I'm better at it than this though.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Spill on the computer.
Yeah, they spilled some sparkling water on it or some shit.
Alright. We're clear out here.
Oh, water purifier. Which computer was that? Josh's. Oh, shit.
Yo. It's a brick iron.
Oh, just came in a case. This is guaranteed to be nice. Came in a metal case.
There's so many cameras.
Dude.
Yo. Oh, is that a box mod?
Yo, you ready to go fuck with some animals? Whoa.
This stresses me out. Spilling stuff in bed.
Yeah.
Ick. Soda. I hate soda. That's why, guys, lately I'm rocking with Kavita Master Brew. Sam Hyde here, and today I've got with me Kavita. And this is Kavita's new Master Brew Kombucha, and they're a US company. And the special thing about this is it's got live probiotics added to it. We all know how important gut health is. Not enough of us are doing anything close to what we should be doing to maintain a healthy gut. You know, I'm sure you guys are in the same boat as me right now. You're not monitoring your gut health. I would say, realistically, I would realistically say that in every arena of life, I have my affairs squared away, T's crossed, I's dotted, hatches battened down. Okay, I'm winning. I'm succeeding in my life in every sphere, except for when it comes to gut health, which is where Kavita's Master Brew comes in. Bang! They got 9 different flavors, but today we're ripping into tart cherry, which is one of my favorites. So let's give this a try. This
I love how
stuff,
he acted like
as far as
spilling
I'm
was
concerned,
specific
this
to the
is
soda.
like God's nectar. So guys,
think
head
that's
on over
gonna
right now to
explode just as easily.
Kavita.com and put in that promo code Sandy Hoax for 15% off your first order of Master Brew, sparkling probiotic, or apple cider vinegar tonic. And start feeling the benefits.
Only
of healthy
Sam will
gut
put out a
bacteria
totally
today.
unnecessary ad that's gonna, if anything, lose him money.
What did he say? While we're on the topic of ways to change your life that only cost $5, you gotta check out mde.tv. That's my website. Are you drinking beer in bed? What is wrong with you? Trojan Ultra Ribbed? Oh my god, dude. Guys, we are banned from YouTube, banned from Instagram, banned from television. And I'm not joking about this. If you don't specifically support what I'm doing, your world is going to end. It is that serious. It is that drastic. If you don't support good content, you're going to end up with fucking Doctor Who box set, Tony Stark Iron Man Doctor Who box set. And that's going to be it. That's all you ever get to watch, okay? Support this. So look, I know you're spending $5 a month on Kavita Kombucha. I'm saying take one day off a month. That's all I'm asking. I'm not saying give up Netflix. I'm not saying give up Hulu. I'm saying take a day off a month from your kombucha. Take a day off a month off the gas station food, pocket knives, fucking
But I wish I understood
things,
how much of this
okay?
is staged
I'm making
and how
a
much of
killing
this
on
is
these.
just
But you don't need to have a new one. How long does this last you?
They just went into somebody's room.
Oh,
Is this even his room?
No, it's not his room. It's 100% the second thing.
How many days?
4 or 5 days.
How much is this?
That is $14.99 plus tax and shipping.
Get some pipe tobacco. Save yourself $12.99 plus tax. $5 a day on Hyde bars? You're crazy. You're crazy. What is this? You're insane right now for not paying for MDE.TV. Go there, sign up. Happy World Daddy.
And I love using feathers, so I definitely had to throw that in there.
Fucked.
All right, cut it. He gotta go.
You gotta.
He's a dub. He gotta go.
The hat is dope.
Schmike.
No, you gotta go.
Schmike. Schmike, you gotta chill out, man.
This is my big break.
To be on TV. You would never get a break in this.
This is my big
You would
break.
never be invited to another thing I do ever.
I'm gonna go to all. You don't know how I am. I'm going to all the parties.
I've never even
all
watched
the
this
features.
video. I do have
I'm gonna be a
Indeed.tv.
filmmaker one day. A guy like me, I got a whole basket full of personalities I can pull from at any moment. I got a whole basket of personalities that I can go into anytime I want. What personality will I be today? A gay guy!
It's truly insane.
Perfect guy life.
That tastes like fucking shit.
This is the podcast setup I want eventually.
You fucking fooled me.
Weren't these extremely expensive?
Chainsaw mom sleep.
This one?
Mom parentheses while
Yeah,
sleeping.
just generally this kind of like
war.
setup.
Yeah.
One knife, stabbing, slashing, severing heads.
Damn, dude. I ran over a crowd of toddlers. It was like, it felt like I was driving over yogurt. And I didn't even look in the rearview mirror because that shit really traumatized me. I just booked it the fuck out of there.
Kickstarter TV.
Now, hey, whoa. This is gonna go online. So what if Master Clements shows up here trying to kick your ass? I'll just make
It
sure.
did not register. He said yogurt.
Yeah, yogurt. His analogies are so funny sometimes.
Good. The car review show, Ecstasy of Car. This is the blue-collar working man's set of wheels. Just like me. Never worked a day in my life, I'll have you know that. Never worked a day of manual labor. You've been controlling my life! Fuck you! Theater, what else we got? We got theater in the air. Here is not the, because you can go back in any time and rape a bunch of women. It's the corset, because the corset is the tight, it's tight, it bunches up, it makes the women like this, they can't help it, they go like this. The women are all bunched up like this with the corset. There's something romantic about the corset.
I was just trying to like dust bang and like, this is like a lot to deal with, so.
What if the word ring is backwards? Because we were doing a downer cut, which is the opposite of an uppercut. So maybe the word that we're really trying to get to is gnur.
Maybe we need the infrared.
Okay, now we're talking. This ghost possessed incredible physical strength and energy projection, like none I'd ever seen before. Hide Wars. Okay, that is what I'm squirting right now. In the same way that a woman would be stimulating her clitoris with this tub, I'm stimulating my brain to produce a squirting orgasm of wisdom to help you out in your quest.
Just say, for real, guys.
He used to put out these really funny videos where he would just be boxing or like fucking something up outside of his house and like saying, "I'm gonna kill Joe Rogan." He's just like talking about killing Joe Rogan because he's trying to get on Joe Rogan, but I don't know. It's really funny the way he did it. And he went on like Fiverr and paid like a bunch of like celebrities or whatever to like make videos saying you should get Sam Hyatt on Joe Rogan and like tricking them into saying stuff like that. It's really funny too.
With this subscription, you will not.
He still hasn't been.
No, he has not been.
That's crazy.
It's crazy how often Joe Rogan will have people on that I think are boring as hell. Like he'll have someone on like 20 times and all they do is talk about like comedy and no one really cares about that shit except for him and the other guy. I don't know. It's crazy.
Do you think he would like completely derail the show if he was on Rogan?
Yeah, I think it would be awkward probably. I don't think Rogan would have any idea how to handle him because his whole kind of shtick is like it's kind of like if you don't get the kind of like what he's going for or what he's trying to do, if you take him too seriously or misinterpret like kind of his goals, then I think he just automatically kind of like sees you as a target to just troll and make the whole thing silly. So I don't know. Joe Rogan might see through the whole thing. Joe Rogan's like surprisingly perceptive a lot of times when I think he's kind of dumb, and then
Yeah.
he'll say something very I keep saying perspective. I mean He's very perceptive, man.
It just seems like Rogan he likes to have conversations with people, and it seems like Sam's always, at least just from what I've seen, it seems like he's trying to mess with people a lot. So it's like, man, if they had an actual conversation, I think it'd be really interesting. But
Yeah,
if you just went in there trying to mess with them, it seems like it could easily get derailed.
yeah, 100%. Let's see if we can skip to some of the more interesting stuff because a lot of this stuff is it's kind of like a side monitor type video, anyways. The way they did it, 'cause it's
Yeah.
all extra stuff. Let me see if I can get to some of the funnier stuff too. I thought this whole situation was kind of funny.
I forgot we were even talking about
What do you
Idubbbz
think?
or watching Idubbbz.
I know. He's just like, yeah. His videos
Completely
are so.
derailed though.
I know.
This thing fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I hate this fucking thing.
This is one of his really good friends, Nick Rochefort. I think I told you about him too. But they do a podcast together called Perfect Guy Life, and I usually watch that whenever it comes out.
I want to fucking break it.
But he's like a really funny guy, like a natural born salesman. He's like a car salesman, made a bunch of money doing that. And he's like good at it. And then he went into like antiques. He like opened up an antique shop. He has a really nice house. He's married. He has his own life. But then he still like kind of gets dragged back into Sam's world. Dude, the show this guy does is so genius. He's really into real estate, right? He just loves it. He loves
Okay.
buying houses and like improving them and stuff. And he hates people that are kind of like into like the kind of like the pop culture like house flipping bullshit. You know, everyone's a genius realtor, even though like it's all a bunch of smoke and mirrors or whatever. He's really good at calling out bullshit, and he does this show called God, I can't remember the name now. Something Realtor, Scuffed Realtor. And it's just him and another really funny guy called Alex Schultz, and they just go find houses on like Zillow and other websites or whatever, and just look at them and talk about them and talk about people's decisions and like the way they renovated houses and stuff like that. And their commentary on it's so funny. Like, how do you make looking through like real estate postings online? How do you make that funny? But they do a really good job of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so entertaining.
I'm gonna punch both fucking gauges out.
It's like a fucking.
Smash the fucking LCD.
It's like a car you buy at Home Depot.
It's like a joke. It's like you know what this reminds me of, honest to God? Have you ever been in a liquor store and you see shots of like apple ciders with like 3 Z's? That's what this thing is.
Yeah.
Like that's. You guys want to go? You want to jump? You want to jump in?
Woo! That's how you know it's fast because you're making the blow up doll face. This thing sucks ass. The only thing that's kind of cool about it is how open it is, but it's really like this is like a motorcycle for people that don't want to deal with a motorcycle. Avanti!
You don't worry about your glasses falling off.
They have in the past. If I turn to do a head check, my glasses have fallen off in the past, and it is annoying. This car sucks so bad. Look, get a shot of this right here. This is like Danny was saying. It looks like it's going up to like 10 miles
The part where he's like teaching him how to drive stick is funny.
an hour. Okay. And then you can put your
You can just tell he really does not want to be in this position.
foot on the clutch all the way down.
Yeah.
And shift it into second. And now you can let your foot off the clutch.
Okay.
You seem to be in neutral. So clutch in.
Clutch in.
Yeah. First gear.
First gear.
Bada bing right there. Perfect.
Oops.
All right, Idubbbz, you're not thinking Ferrari, my friend. You got to think Ferrari. All right, so let's go ahead and clutch in again.
You drive a stick.
Clutch in.
All the way down. Hit
I
that,
could in
go
a
button.
pinch, but I don't like
And
it.
now you can start to
And
let us
it would be really bumpy and
slowly
rough.
lurch forward there. Bada bing. Yeah, there you go. We're off.
How
We're
about
off
you?
to the
Do you
right.
drive manual or stick or both?
Are those different things?
Fuck you. Automatic or stick? Automatic or manual?
I was, yeah. I mean, I prefer automatic. I don't know I don't understand the people who prefer manual, but yeah, I had to drive a manual for a while in high school, and so I guess I got used to it. But first of all, I feel like it's like every gas and every brake is different. But then when you're using a clutch and you have to like disengage the clutch and do the gas at the same time in every vehicle, it feels different. It's like, man, I'm just starting over at this point. It's just a timing thing, but twice as hard.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And my parents tried to teach me when I was like, so they taught me for a while in the middle of nowhere on like some dirt roads, and that was really easy. And then we moved into like the streets, and I just got too anxious because I had just gotten my
Yeah.
learner's permit, and they were like, "Okay, you got to drive us home from here." And yeah, I don't know, the pressure was too much.
My dad did that. So when my parents were teaching me how to drive, my dad was always on the phone, like working. So the first time he ever taught me how to took me driving, he was just like, "Go." And driving's simple enough; it wasn't that big of a deal. And my mom would just be like paranoid about everything, micromanaging it, and it was really stressful. But then when they were teaching me to drive stick, he did the same thing, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here. We're just jerking up and down the street, barely made it. So I had to have my mom teach me that, I think.
That's really funny. Oh, it's just funny, like the idea. God, if my parents were like teaching me how to drive stick and they were like on the phone the entire time, I would be like, I'd be so over it.
Oh yeah, man. I didn't get out of the neighborhood. I was like, this is so frustrating. I just remember the stress level I had in the middle of my neighborhood.
Well, okay, so just to break this up into more digestible chunks, I feel like maybe next time we can do the interview, and this will be like kind of the last part because this is really the meat of it. Is this like little chunk here?
Okay, yeah.
This is the part where the confrontation happens. It's really funny. It's also awkward,
Oh,
but yeah,
give me that a little bit. Like, what's the?
just start into it a little bit. Play.
You might have already told me, but yeah. No, no. I just meant like summarize it for me so I'm prepared for next time.
Oh yeah, well essentially what happened is Idubbbz kind of kept a little not secret, but I guess like kind of kept from Sam that one of the focal points or one of the big questions of this interview was going to be how he tricked him with that pony game. So just a quick rundown. Sam creates the Brony dating sim game. It's really cringy, really well made troll, like it looks real. Put it on crowdfunding website, I think Kickstarter or something like that. So basically, it looks like a real project someone's trying to create. And Idubbbz used to review Kickstarters and like make fun of them, like people's stupid ideas. And this is one of them that he happened to do. He got tricked into reviewing it, even though it was a bait. It was bait from Sam. And Sam, because a lot of his content was obviously all over the video, like he played videos from the Kickstarter and stuff, he was able to like not demonetize it, but like copyright strike it. So he did that and sent him a message on YouTube saying, if you can, squat so much weight, then I'll
Okay.
release the copyright claim. And apparently that made Idubbbz like more upset than maybe he initially let on. Anyway, you'll see from this clip, but that's essentially like one of the big kind of twists, I guess.
Okay. You did. I remember you telling me that, and now that I have a little more context of what's even going on here, it makes more sense.
Yeah. So we'll get into that next time. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. Get the fuck out of here, guys. That's it. Show's over. We'll do it again next
Later.
time. Bye.